Hello, my I couldn't commit. I was gonna say it in the way, but I couldn't do it. Man, that stinks. Hello, guys. Welcome back to Mac Music Review. Before we hop into the music review, just wanted to say, there's some stuff down in the description. You guys know this. If you've seen my videos, go check out down in the description. You're gonna see how the channel works, where I get my reviews from, how to request an album for me to review, all that good stuff down in the description. Today, I will be reviewing the album Know It All, the debut album from the singer, songwriter, R&B, pop artist, Alessia Cara. Alessia, I don't know, I always say her name wrong. Alessia Cara is an up-and-coming pop R&B artist. I say she's a pop artist, but for some reason, some people insist that she's R&B, which is just kind of weird. Who has made a big splash in pop radio recently. She's been in lots of hits, had a bunch of hits of her own, and she actually, at the 2018 Grammys, I guess, she won Best New Artist. So, I guess that's kind of a big deal. I don't know how seriously people take the Grammys, but she won. She picked up a lot of steam. She wasn't really a new artist for that year, because this album came out a few years before that, but that's when she got noticed for her songs. She had a feature in the hit Logic song 1-800, and she was really big. The really big song of 2017 that she was in was Stay, which was a collaborative effort with the EDM producer Zed. Anyway, before all that, she made this album, Know It All. This is her debut album, and this album made a lot of money. This album, it picked up a lot of steam upon initial release with the song Here. Here was a big hit on pop radio. Everybody was playing it. Everybody was talking about it when it came out. And then it also had a smaller hit after that called Wild Things. I didn't hear this much in the radio, but I've heard this at Goodwill and places. I've heard this song around playing on in stores. And I think I've heard it on the radio 2 or 3 times. But then maybe a year or 2 later, it took a while, but the song Scars to Your Beautiful, the last song on this album, became a really big hit for a while. It was played on the radio constantly, and that also probably contributed to her getting noticed and nominated for Best New Artist and getting her that Best New Artist Grammy win. Okay, I've delayed long enough. We need to jump into this album. What does this album sound like? What is Alessia Cara's debut album? What is Know It All? Know It All is a brief 10-track project. This debut, there is a deluxe version, but the regular version, which I reviewed, only has 10 songs. Runtime is 35 minutes. Pretty short for an album, for a full-length album. I mean, there's some EPs which are almost 35 minutes. I've reviewed some EPs which almost or mixtapes that stretch to 35 minutes. But this thing is a mix of different moods and genres. Some people label this album as R&B. I would call it more of a pop album. There's some R&B inspiration on here. Some of these songs are really upbeat and energetic and very poppy. These songs would be 17, Wild Things, and I'm Yours, and I guess Overdose to an extent. These songs are very upbeat, very positive sounding music. And then you also have some much slower, more R&B inspired stuff like Here and Four Pink Walls. Four Pink Walls is kind of funky, has a little bit of a rap singing thing going on. And both of those songs are definitely have a lot of inspiration from R&B music. And then you also have the song Stone and Stars. And these are you'll hear these in pop artists like to do this, but piano ballads. Slow, emotional, piano-centered pop ballads. So you have a good amount of range going on here. You have the very upbeat and fast kind of sounding stuff, and then you go to the very slow, serious stuff. Now, if you ask me, what really makes Alessia Cara, what really makes her stand out to me is her lyrics. Alessia Cara is kind of in the same way that AJR stands out in the pop music. Actually, AJR stands out for a bunch of reasons. But Alessia Cara is different from her contemporaries, from her peers. I guess if I had to say her peers, I would say like Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, like these young female pop stars, solo pop stars. And what really sets her apart is her lyrics. Alessia Cara is much more clean lyrically. She's much less, her lyrics are much less sexual. They're much less like seductive, I guess, or she doesn't do that. That's not what Alessia Cara does. She wears her clothes. That's one thing that I guess sets her apart. And lyrically, she's a lot more clean. And also lyrically, she really tries to have good messages in her music. These are not all just really lovey-dovey romance songs on here. Not really, like, really kind of graphic love songs on here. She has, a lot of these songs are really, like, trying to have a message. Here is an anti-pop song. It's about her being at a party and really hating it. Everyone's, like, getting drunk and throwing up and doing weed and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, I don't like this. I want to go back to my home and listen to music with my friends, music that has a message like we normally do and all that kind of stuff. And so, good message. And then Scars to Your Beautiful is about saying kind of a message that's been done before in movies and TV and kind of Disney message of every girl is beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It talks about, I think that's about herself, but like starving yourself to look really thin because, girls think that guys won't love them or won't care about them unless they're skinny and all that kind of stuff. So, good messages. Trying to spread some good messages in her music. I would be lying if I didn't point out that not all of her stuff is like this, of course. She has a few songs which are just basically just fall into pop music territory. I'm Yours, your traditional pop love song, just a love song basically. I'm Yours, and then I'm Yours, and then Overdose, a little bit of a spin, a little bit of a twist on the lyrics, but mostly your same sounding pop music. And then Outlaw. Musically this is different, but lyrically it's just a love song. It's just a kind of a, I love you, you love me, love song. Let's conquer the world, love song. And then, of course, the piano ballads, not super duper original lyrically. These have been done before. These lyrics have been done before. Not anything crazy on these. Now, I need to jump into this. I'm rambling. What is this album? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it meh? Let's talk about that. In terms of music, this album is pretty good. On first listen to this, I should just say this right off the bat. But first time I heard this album, I really liked it. And I listened to it a lot. I had like all the songs downloaded. And then slowly, one by one, a song went off of my phone. And then another one got deleted. And then another one took it off the playlist. Another one. And then I was left with like 2 songs. Because the music on here, for the most part, is good. And a few of these songs have great music. For example, I'm Yours, Overdose, they sound pretty cool. These songs have pretty good upbeat music. And then the song Here and Wild Things. This music really still is good. These songs have really cool production, really cool, just good sounding music. Really enjoyable and fun. And, in here it's more like atmospheric and serves the message of the song well. But the rest of this stuff, it sounds good, but it gets worse and worse with each listen. The replayability isn't great because it's pop music. Pop music just really doesn't reach. It's not ambitious enough. It's not as creative. It's not creative enough. And this is really just pop music. And I'm not a huge fan of pop music. And it honestly just gets worse with each listen. Another highlight with the music, actually one of the best. The best are Here, and then Wild Things, and then 17. 17 has refreshing, I don't know if it's refreshing. It's good music. It's quality, enjoyable music. But then you have songs, the ballads on this are instantly forgettable. Literally, I can't remember them right after listening to them. I listened to these songs before I did this review, and I can't remember what they were because they're so instantly forgettable. Lyrically, I think you already know what I think about the lyrics. I think lyrically that this is better than, I'll say 85% of pop music. Lyrically, Alessia Cara has a message. She actually has something she's trying to get across, trying to say some good things in some of these songs, a message of positivity, a message of going against social norms and all that stuff, and that is good. Unfortunately, that's not how this whole project pans out. Not every song on here has great lyrics. As I pointed out, the ones with the more traditional pop lyrics, like I'm Yours and Outlaw and the ballads, honestly, I don't really care for them. I don't care for them lyrically. Not great lyrics. It's just kind of generic. It's been done before. Not really interesting. It's just kind of meh, honestly. In conclusion, I have to say that Alessia Cara's debut album, Know It All, definitely shows potential for the artist. Oh, something I didn't mention. The singing on this, because it's a solo pop recording and there's like no guest artists on here. There's one, but he's like really subtle, and so. How's her singing? She's not the best. I think that her contemporaries, her peers, are probably better singers. And she's not a bad singer. She's definitely not bad. She's just not... She's not amazing. She's good. She's a good singer, just not like blow you away voice. Anyway, I think this debut has lots of potential. Shows a lot of potential for the artist. Shows she has good songwriting. She like wrote all these songs, so she has the potential for good songwriting, potential for good music. But all in all, this record is not amazing. This album has some poor lyrics, some generic, boring, dull lyrics. It also has some very forgettable, kind of lackluster music. And then, of course, the number one problem I have with this record is the very, very low replayability. I'm not going to be all hyped for an album. I'm not going to say an album's great if I can't enjoy it with repeat listens. And with this, it gets old fast. Like, I think this is one of the most, like, unreplayability albums I've ever, I've said that in a weird way, but honestly, I'm going to give this thing 3 out of 5 stars. Shows potential. You have some good songs on here. Here, Scars Too Beautiful, 17, Wild Things, all good songs. But this is a flawed record. What do you think of this album? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you like Alessia Cara? Do you think she should have won Best New Artist? I personally was really excited when she won because I really thought that Khaled was going to win. He's another good artist. American Teen was a really cool album. I have not reviewed that, actually. I should. But that was a cool album. And I thought he was going to win because everybody liked him and everybody said he was like the best new artist. And then Alessia Cara won. And I was rooting for her because I think lyrically she tries to have a good message. And I really like that. I really like someone trying to defy the norm and actually say something to go against the norm, to preach an unconventional message. That's cool. I think that's cool. So I like Alessia Cara, probably one of my favorite solo female pop artists. I don't really listen to those kind of people, but she's pretty good, I would say, despite giving this 3 out of 5. Lots of potential. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.